Hi, it's Josh McEwen here with episode 29 of Dufferin Spotlight on Business, where we bring your community to you by letting you know what's available in the area while highlighting the advantages of shopping local. And this week we are joined by Graham, Bryan, and Laura Bryan Kirk of Bryan's Fuel, which is located at 400 Richardson Road in Orangeville. If you have been in Dufferin for any significant length of time, you're already quite aware of Bryan's Fuel. I mean, it's been around for almost 100 years. It's amazing. And even better, Laura and Graham are the daughter and son of Roy Bryan, meaning they are the fourth generation of Bryans in the business. This long-standing family company has grown from providing fuels, home heating, and comfort products, in addition to emergency and annual maintenance services, to those just in Dufferin, and are now servicing Collingwood and Simcoe as well. As much as you may think you may know about Bryan's Fuel, I am sure you will learn something from watching this. I know I did from taking part in it, and I grew up in Dufferin. To learn more about Bryan's Fuel, check out their website, bryansfuel.on.ca, and follow them on social media. Big thanks to Laura and Graham for their time and for making this possible, and thanks to you, the audience, for listening. I'm Josh McEwen, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Dufferin Spotlight on Business. Thanks. Hi, I'm Josh McEwen with Dufferin Spotlight on Business, and today I'm joined by Laura and Graham Bryan with Bryan's Fuel, located on 400 Richardson Road in Orangeville. Thanks to you both for joining me. To get started, can you please just give us a brief background on yourselves and the business?
I'm Laura Bryan. I am the marketing manager here at Bryan's Fuel. I joined this business in September of 2018, joining my brother and my father here. Like I say, I do the marketing here at Bryan's Fuel, and I do some sales and some general management.
And I'm Graham Bryan. I've been back at Bryan's Fuel since I finished university 7 years ago now. And I mean, I've held a variety of positions at Bryan's Fuel, including service manager, but now my main focus is as the sales manager, and I do quite a bit of sales myself in terms of HVAC and fuel. And so Bryan's Fuel, I mean, we're coming up as a 100-year-old company. We started in 1924. We offer essentially HVAC operations as well as fuel supply in Dufferin County and beyond.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost 100 years. Like, that's extremely impressive. I mean, that's amazing.
Yes, it's a fourth generation business. So our father, Roy, he's currently the president, so he's third generation, and then Graham and I are the fourth.
That's right.
That's amazing. I mean, I took some classes in family business when I was in school, and the stats to make it that far, that is an amazing achievement. I mean, that says like the strength of your family. That says a lot, like, as far as the strength of your family, because that's usually becomes a hurdle.
That's right.
You have to get pretty good at separating business from family, but if you can do that, you can pretty much make it through. Certainly something we're proud of anyway.
Exactly. Well, so what are your most popular products or services, if you don't mind me asking?
Things like in town, if you had natural gas, our most popular are the HVAC services. So installing furnaces, air conditioners, water heaters. We do like boilers and hydronic heating systems. So like in-floor heat, radiators. We also do geothermal heating systems for the more rural properties. And then that's kind of the HVAC side, as well as the service, So 24/7 emergency service on if you have no heat or no hot water, things like that. And then also the bigger portion of the business is actually delivering fuel for rural residential home heating for the most part, as well as some commercial stuff. So that's the people that don't have access to natural gas and they have a propane tank or an oil tank at their house. We deliver those sorts of fuel.
Wow. Well, you guys can do it all.
Yeah, a little bit. The attempt is to have a company where if you're warm or you're cold, there's only one number that you have to call, and we'll figure it out from there.
It makes sense. That's awesome. That's right. Mm-hmm. So are you working on any major projects or jobs?
Yeah, certainly a bunch of them. I mean, the two that would be of most note right now would be the renovation or the reconstruction of the Canadian Reformed Church on Sea Line in Orangeville. So we're doing the HVAC systems in that building. And we're also working on the heating systems for the Midtown condos that are going up on Center Street in town. So those are some of the bigger projects, but we certainly do much more smaller residential projects is more of our niche.
That's awesome. That's good that there's a lot on the go during all this. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how many people do you guys employ today?
Well, currently we employ 65 people. So
Wow.
we have a 7-person management team, and then that's really made up of 5 other departments. So there's our office staff, we have our sales team, we have our group of installation technicians, then we have our service technicians, and then our fuel department. So that's inclusive of our dispatch and all of our fuel drivers.
Wow. That's quite a big company. Wow.
Yeah, we have a lot of people here, and something that we're really proud of is we work really hard at employee retention. So right now we have over 30 staff who have been here for longer than 10 years. We have 10 people who've been here longer than 20 years, and 5 people who have been here for longer than 30 years.
That's amazing. I mean, I like to say, like, small businesses and local businesses, like they do go out of their way to keep people. It really does make a difference. But I mean, wow, that says a lot. Again, like those are great numbers. I mean, wow.
Yeah, something we're proud of for sure.
Yeah, family business, and try and you want to treat your employees like they're part of your family. That's the goal.
Exactly, 100%, 100%. Wow. That's amazing. Because I mean, again, just going through what everyone's going through right now, that's awesome. So where do you think most of your competition comes from?
The significant portion of it is local. So other small HVAC companies in town. I mean, Arthur's Fuel, Don's Heating and Cooling, Hyde Whip, to name a few. There's certainly a number of kind of one man in a truck HVAC companies as well that also do a very good job in our town. And then there's also a number of kind of, I guess, not international, but national corporations. So your Enercares and Reliances of the world on the HVAC side of things, and the same on fuel. So, I mean, there's about an equal amount of local competition in the fuel side of things as there is national with the Superiors and Blue Wave Energies of the world.
Wow. So, I mean, that goes to say a lot, because it does sound like a pretty competitive industry. And I mean, you guys have survived, like, for, again, almost 100 years. So, I mean, this question I'm curious about. What do you think makes you different from the competition? Certainly,
I mean, if you walk in our front door, we've got some cultural values on the 5 values listed there, which, I mean, I think every company in the world has 5 of those, but we really try to live by them. The biggest of which I think makes our difference, is honesty and transparency. So there's certainly a lot of, a lot of sketchy things that some people in our industry do, or a lot of things that, I mean, they'll not give you enough information. You'll have made a decision for you before you even knew what happened, and you're spending more money than you need to. I mean, our philosophy is to make sure that you understand and know all of the options that are available to you, the upfront costs, the long-term running costs, and to allow you to make that decision, whatever is best for you and your family. And try to be transparent in both how we give that information and our pricing. So, I mean, we have publicly posted pricing on our website for furnace installations as well as our fuel prices. So we're very transparent in that. We're not making things up on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And the other really important thing too is because we deal in so many different products and services. So we sell our HVAC products that run on, natural gas, propane, oil, geothermal, electric. Because we offer all the options, we can offer an unbiased solution, because it doesn't matter to us which one you pick. It's just whatever is the one that's best for you and your family and your home.
That is a big factor, because I mean, there are some that are like basically just dealers of another company. And that is a big problem. And I also want to highlight too, like, it's not just like that's a problem with like your industry, like people not being transparent and things like that. That's pretty much most industries, and not giving people, like, I don't want to have your industry having a bad name. Like,
no, of course.
I know you weren't implying that. It's just that is a problem with pretty much. I can name. We can all name a bunch.
Well, that's the goal of having the like Graham said, transparency, and having pricing and all the information already on our website, because before someone even comes to your house and gives you your options, you can already see what it would cost you before we come there.
Mm-hmm. And the idea, I mean, the average consumer buys, I think it's 1.7 heating systems in their lifetime. So, I mean, you're not the expert. You don't need to be the expert. We need to at least present to you all the options and make sure you understand before you just buy something that might not be right for you.
When you put it like that, when you only buy that many like that, you're completely right. Like, you're not expected to be an expert in a lot of things, but when you're only doing it like maybe once or twice in a lifetime,
that's right.
That is really good information to know. Wow. Thank you. So what do you think customers should look for when doing business with somebody in your profession? Transparency, I assume, is a big one too?
Yeah, that's certainly something. I mean, especially the rural residential customers. I mean, when they're making a decision on, say, a fuel supplier, a lot of people will give you what's my price today on fuel, but what does that mean for you in the future? What does that mean tomorrow, 6 months from now, 5 years from now? So it's really nice to be able to have somebody that has a posted price, so you know where you stand against that. But yeah, honesty, transparency, longevity, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of people that come and go, I guess, in this industry. So we want to make sure that you feel comfortable that, I mean, if we install your heating system now, when we're able to maintain it next year and 20 years from now, and then when that comes, we'll hopefully be able to give you an idea on how to replace it.
Mm-hmm. And then too, just a number of options. So I think the important thing is, Graham talked a little bit about it, but our philosophy is repair versus replace. So if you're having an issue with your heating or cooling system, we would always want to tell you the cost to repair it or replace it. Then you could make an informed decision to decide, the age of your equipment and, how much money you're willing to put into it rather than just buying a new one. So at least you have the option. And then, like Graham said, the upfront costs, but also the running costs, and understand what that means to you. So, knowing that you're going to spend this amount on this day to install a new system, but this is likely what it's going to cost you monthly and then annually, and then over your lifetime, then by having all of the information for you, you can make the best choice.
That's right.
And having that repair versus replace philosophy is extremely important, because not enough people have that. Like in pretty much any like service-based industry, or when there's a hardware aspect, we need more of that. So, I mean, that's great that you're helping perpetuate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So we've all been going through COVID lately, and that's had a lot of changes with businesses. Are there any changes that you've made that are beneficial or you think will last into the future?
I think, we've had to make a number of changes, and, most of that is regulated by, our public health and from the government, that have been, really important for us to abide very strictly by those policies, because not only it's important for us to keep not only our employees safe, but also our customers safe. We need to make sure that we have healthy employees. So if your furnace stops working on a day like today, when it's cold and snowy, that we have healthy people that can come and safely service your equipment. So there's that. But really, I think maybe what's changed is, it's changed our sense of community a little bit, because, for 65 people, we have a really fun working environment where our crews and our staff, really lean on each other to talk through situations, to have fun with their job. And, that's kind of gone away because staff can't congregate anymore. So that's really difficult. But, we've had to change the way we communicate with each other. And it also really shows the importance of checking in with the people that you work with and make sure everyone is doing okay and can have an outlet to talk and, have someone to check in on them, because, all of our employees are really amazing and, they're holding it together for their own household, but no one's checking in on them to see how they're doing. And that's kind of the job of Graham, myself, and our father, Roy. It's just, even though the face-to-face communication might not be there as it once was, I think our communication with our employees has even grown a little bit more, because you're making a bigger effort to check in with people and see how they're doing. So, I think we've really understood the value of checking in, of making sure people are okay, and making sure that people can still communicate, still share stories, still feel that sense of community, even though you can't do it face-to-face in the office anymore.
That is important, because people, that is something that's definitely lost, and something that probably isn't being focused on enough in the workplace during all of this for all the reasons you said. So, I mean,
Right.
that actually is something that is great. Because, I mean, that is something that will get lost for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Did Bryan's Fuel have to shut down?
We were very fortunate because, we're a business that was kind of an emergency service. So we remained open even in the first shutdown, but at a very limited capacity. But we continued to work, and our fuel drivers were driving, all of them were driving the whole time, because people still need propane and oil to heat their houses. So
luckily it's one guy in his own truck that has no customer interaction. So he was able to continue to do that very easily.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah. And, we've had to implement some pretty intense, safety protocols with having people enter in and out of the building, cleaning protocols like PPE and masks, and entering people's houses, and making sure we're tracing where every single employee is going in case an issue ever arises.
So screening both our employees as well as our customers when we're going into the houses for our employees' safety.
Yes. And, it's basically, a full-time job for someone to do. But as you know, and as everyone knows, how we deal with this, it greatly affects a lot of people. So we got to make sure we're doing it the right way.
And you mentioned again, like screening the customers for your employees' safety, because I mean that gets lost on a lot of people, on a lot of customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've got some our customers have been amazing, because they're understanding that we're going into their homes, and those people doing that, they have families at home, or they are coming back into this office. So we are so lucky that people are understanding, calling us and saying, oh, we just got a COVID test, so let's reschedule my service today or something. So I think, we've been doing a really good job. Our customers have been doing a great job as well in helping us out and helping us. So it's been great.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So what was the biggest problem you experienced during COVID?
One of the biggest one's been availability of equipment. So, I mean, manufacturing worldwide has obviously been affected. So that's been a problem in terms of having the right stuff here on time.
Yeah.
Regular scheduled stuff's been a problem. So, I mean, if you're booking a week or two out for installations of new furnaces, and I mean, a guy has a school-aged kid, and the school-aged kid's sick, and all of a sudden he's got to be home for 3 days with that kid. It just backs up the whole line. And so I mean, just maintaining a schedule and maintaining the ability to have people ready to do emergency replacements, certainly keeping us on our toes.
That would be tough for sure. I mean, supply chain issues is something that you definitely, I saw the survey for Dufferin County. I mean, it's something I always hear about anyways, but Dufferin County, over half the businesses were experiencing supply chain issues for getting stuff. We
haven't been cut off from anything where there's no products we're missing. It's just time. It's how fast we can get them. So we were lucky. I mean, we've been able to kind of do increased stocking orders for in our building. So we've been having pretty good success with that so far, but it's definitely something to keep at the front of the mind.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the kind of final challenge is just keeping up with all of the change in policies, in procedures, in screening. You have to know where to look. You need to talk to the right people. I think Wellington, Dufferin, Guelph Public Health is probably sick of hearing from me because I call them 3 or 4 times a week. You just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing, that we're keeping the right records, that we're protecting people. And you have to be paying attention at all times to ensure that your business is doing exactly what needs to happen, because we need to abide by the procedures that Orangeville is setting out, and public health is setting out, and the provincial government is setting out, and the federal government. I mean, that is the challenge for any business owner right now. I think Orangeville, the businesses here, are doing a really great job. But we've also been leaning on a lot of partners. We're sharing information. We're talking to other businesses that we're really friendly with. We're sharing facts and information. And, it's interesting because in a time where everything's very stressful, it's really great that it's kind of fostered a sense of community with other business owners, that you can just share some challenges and share solutions. And, that's been really great.
It's definitely provided that opportunity for sure. For
sure.
sure. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So when you were younger, did you think you'd be doing this?
I probably had a sense of it. I mean, I more than Laura anyway. I've been a participant in the company for a long time. I think my employment letter says I've been working here since I was 12. So, I mean, I've had a toe in it for a long time doing a number of different things. I mean, I did installs myself in summers of high school and university. And I think I likely did or had an inkling that I might. And I was certainly always interested, but nothing's for certain. That's for sure. We definitely never felt pressure to do it. That's for sure.
Yes.
That's good. That's important. Because I mean, that is something that a lot of people in family businesses experience. 100%.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, our father's pretty relaxed in letting us explore our interests before this. Like certainly myself, I was in the event marketing industry for 10 years before I came in and joined the business here. And, you know, it was really important for me to have that experience, and I gained a lot of, you know, knowledge and things that could help me here before I came and joined Graham and my father, Roy. And also, Graham and I have another sibling. We have a brother who's between us in age. And like Graham, his employment letter says he probably started working here when he was 12 as well. So he was doing the installations and going out on the crews when he was young and throughout high school and even in university. And he's in finance right now. He's a CA. Very successsul, and he dipped his toe in it here, and he's found his calling, certainly, and I don't think he'll be joining us anytime soon. He's very successful doing what he does, so he probably is going to continue doing that as well. So
That's awesome. And do you have any role models or positive influences growing up?
It's interesting because at work, you know, we call him Roy, but our dad, you know, he is... I think he's a really great boss. Good, not just to Graham and I, but to the staff. He really, you know, he trusts people. He allows people to make mistakes, to grow, to prove that they have the ability to take on more responsibility. And like I say, he never put any pressure on Graham and I to do this. And that's been really great. I think we've both, I don't want to speak for Graham, but I've certainly enjoyed working with him. Also, like both that, I say that for my dad, but I also for our mother as well. Like she's pretty great. She's very smart and successful in her own right. And she, you know, it might be difficult. Like she's one of those people who has removed herself from the business and let our father do this. Well, she had other interests, but has always been like a strong supporter of us. And yeah, I think they're pretty great. But Graham, I'll let you weigh in there too.
I'd probably say too, I mean, I had a lot of coaches in sports that were great role models for me. I also worked growing up in high school, kind of during the school years as well. In the summers, I worked at Sanderson Source of Sports. So both Terry and Josh Sanderson were good mentors of mine as well. But yeah, my father, our grandfather, and my uncle who also worked in the business. I mean, I certainly have a wealth of people around us that were very positive influences for sure.
That's awesome. That's good. Family's important. That's great. Because I mean, especially again, family business is important to have those family role models because it's a testament to family strength.
That's right.
For sure.
Awesome. So your first job was at Sanderson Source for Sports, right? Right. Besides Bryan's Fuel. Mm-hmm. How about you, Laura?
I actually was into gymnastics growing up. So my first job I also worked at Bryan's Fuel when I was quite young, but my first job would have been coaching gymnastics at the gymnastics club here in Orangeville at Twisters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys really are local.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is local as it gets.
Yeah.
Well, it's good because it's more of the smaller businesses too. Like my first job outside of my family business was at Zellers. So I mean, but yeah, at least you guys were like with smaller businesses. So I mean, like it's nice because I mean, and plus these are things that are still around. Like,
yes, absolutely. That's right.
So
that's right.
So that's awesome. So are you guys currently hiring?
We're kind of always hiring. We're always looking for. I mean, the skilled trades people are hard to find, and when you find them, you want to keep them. But I mean, we're certainly always looking for licensed skilled tradespeople. That being that the gas fitting technicians, oil burner technicians, refrigeration mechanics, as well as trained fuel drivers or people with their DZs and office staff. I mean, but we're always accepting resumes and always looking for good people.
That's right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So do you guys have any plans for expansion?
Yes, I mean, this is the quick answer. I mean, more of it would likely be geographic expansion, furthering our reach, especially of the HVAC side of the business. Kind of where a lot of our success comes from is the marriage between the fuel and the HVAC side, and the effective range of doing HVAC from Orangeville is a lot more limited than the fuel side. So we'd certainly like to be able to have those meet at some point in the future.
Because that's really how we grow our customers. So if they need propane for home heat, we also want to be able to be their installer of choice, their service technicians of choice. So our fuel delivery area is much larger than our service area. So we just want to make sure that eventually we can match them up so that we can provide all of our services to those people.
That helps a lot easier with marketing for sure, versus having okay, well, this is where our service area is versus our
And the best way we can explain it to someone is they say, oh, well, you deliver my propane. And I say, well, I would love to be able to offer you a furnace, but it means that if your furnace stops working at 3 a.m. on Christmas Day, I need someone who can get to you quicker than 5 hours from now because of where we're located. So because we offer 24/7 emergency service and deliveries, we just have to make sure that we can actually fulfill that promise.
That says a lot that you care enough to do that, though. You care enough to say no, to not overcommit yourselves, and because there's companies that would do that. I mean, I don't need to tell you that. I mean, you guys know.
But that just goes hand in hand with the honesty and transparency we talk about. As long as you can be honest and tell someone why you can't do the thing that they're asking of you, it's easier for them to understand and respect your answer.
Yeah, and do they want it? Even if you said yes and you tried to fulfill it, do they want to wait for the time for that to happen? And it's your best choice is to go with, and you're telling them that, go with someone more local, essentially.
And we want that more local person to be us eventually, and we're trying to get there.
Exactly. And it's not an easy thing to say that either. So, I mean, again, It's a lot for your and a lot for honesty. So, I mean, no, that's awesome. So, or do you guys think you've exceeded the original goals that were put out when Bryan's Fuel was put forward?
Likely. I would say where the company is certainly a long ways past the vision of Wilson Bryan, who started our company in 1924. I mean, originally we had a steam hay baler, and we delivered hay to livestock savories in Toronto, and we started returning the return trip with coal for home heating. So that's how we got into the fuel business, was returning with coal. And I mean, even our father, he used to lug 50-pound bags of coal up the apartments on Broadway above all the stores. They all had coal stoves in them. So I mean, we certainly had a breadth of services. So we're probably a long way past where they ever thought we would be, or where they even thought technology might end up. But I mean, I would say even since I joined the business, I mean, we take certainly big steps forward every year in providing services and being a preferred choice of a lot of customers in this area. And I mean, that's certainly satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Because of a great name. I mean, again, strong foundation, but I mean, you guys are really growing, and I mean, it's great to see that you're not sitting on your laurels. You guys are trying to expand the business, and again, trying to match up your service areas to provide greater customer satisfaction. That's great.
And the other part of it too is just educating ourselves on where the industry is going to go, because obviously with living in the times we are, and things like taxing carbons and certainly furnace oil and propane in the future, those services are going to start to be on the decline. So we need to be able to look 5, 10, 15 years ahead into the future about where this industry is going, and we need to start preparing now. We don't want to be behind when all of a sudden people aren't heating their homes using propane, they're using electricity to do it. We need, in refrigeration techniques, we need to be able to have a staff that can do that.
I can't remember. I think it's know what you do and not what you sell. I mean, we are a rural energy provider and a home comfort provider, and whatever the best methodology of the times to do that in is what we'll be able to provide. So if that in the future is solar panels, batteries, and air source heat pumps, then that's what we'll be versed to do.
100%. That was one of the things I learned from when I was in business school, was that. That was one of the things that jumped out to me was was that lesson. Don't ever set yourself up in too limited of a thing for a future. Cause like you said, you're not what you're selling. It's what you're providing essentially.
That's right.
I mean, it's great that you guys are so young. Cause I mean, this kind of helps get you this is the kind of the best foot you could have to getting towards the future, I'd say.
That's right.
Yeah.
I kind of think you just mentioned it there, but if I'm wrong, please let me know. But what would you consider to be your biggest challenge in the years ahead?
Yeah, I mean, that is likely that's the elephant in the room. If you're in the fuel industry, it's what's going to happen. Obviously, it kind of changes every 4 years, depending on which federal government is reigning, about how fast it moves. But I mean, if you know anything about the world, we're certainly going to be moving away from carbon burning sources of energy. So that's certainly likely it. It's being versed and being ready. And I mean, I wouldn't say we're early adopters, but we're certainly not laggards. So we don't want to be behind the curve, but we don't want to be putting products out there that aren't tried and true and tested and ready. So that's probably a big portion of it for sure.
That's awesome. And I mean, again, the fact that you guys are even bringing this up again says a lot for the honesty and transparency part again too. You guys are just reinforcing that throughout the whole discussion here, which is great because that is a big factor when it comes to local businesses. I wouldn't say you guys are small because I mean you guys have a lot going on there, but
small but mighty.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It really is. So are you guys looking forward to anything in the near future?
To a vaccine. To a vaccine,
yeah. To a vaccine. A little bit. I mean, I think that's what everyone's looking forward to. But I think in the short term, I think we're just looking forward to understanding what the new normal is, how we're going to move forward.
So what will happen after? Well, I mean, you guys are both fairly early on, but I mean, what will happen after you guys leave the company? Is that even a discussion right now?
Probably not. I mean, we're just finishing the discussion about what will happen when our father leaves the company. But I mean, in all honesty, we don't really know what the company's going to look like at the time that I might retire. So it's hard to say. I would like to say that we'll hopefully leave it in good hands. And I mean, legacy is neat, but I don't think it's something that we look forward to. So just like our father did, I'm certainly not going to put any pressure on. I have a son and 2 daughters, so I'm certainly not going to put any pressure on them to join. And if it's something they want to do, that's awesome. If not, that's quite all right. But we'll see what happens.
It's fun now because our kids think it's cool right now to be like, my son thinks it's cool to be a Bryan's Fuel guy. That's what he calls it, Bryan's Fuel guy. When that's fun to watch now, but like Graham says, the best thing is to let them make their own choices. And if it's to be part of this and still going strong, then that's great. And if not, we'll see where time takes us, I guess.
That's right.
That's so cool because I mean, you guys have made it a place again where people aren't pushed towards it, but it's it's a place where they kind of want to be. And that says a lot because I mean, again, for going as long as you have been going, I mean, for this many generations, and for not to end up in the hands of outside management, that too is outside the norm even more for going this long. That's truly amazing. I mean, it says a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't know if people realize how just how low the percentages are to make it this far. It's not high at all. So yeah. So is there anything you'd like to say to the people of Dufferin before we wrap it up?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, obviously, thank you for supporting our business for as long as it has been. I mean, obviously, we like to provide a service that's quality, but I mean, if the phone didn't ring, we wouldn't be here still. So thank you, and we'll keep doing our best to make sure you stay warm.
Yeah, that's right. Or cool in the summer, that too.
Cool. Yeah, that's right.
And I think the thank you is good because, like Graham says, this business doesn't continue without the support of the community. And in turn, we like to pay that forward and be involved and active and supportive of things that are happening in our community as well, because it's got to be a shared respect. That's for sure.
100%. So what is the best way to contact Bryan's Fuel?
I mean, we're 24/7, 365. So our phone number. So that's 519-941-2401 or toll free at 1-800-637-5910. I'm surprised I remember that.
Yeah, me too.
And that's 24/7. So I mean, our office hours are between 8 and 5, but we do have an answering service that will direct any emergency calls to our on-call service technicians or fuel drivers after hours, or they can get us at our website at www.bryansfuel.on.ca. And I mean, we're all over social media as well: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you both so much for your time. I mean, this is extremely appreciated. And to the audience, thank you so much for listening to Dufferin Spotlight on Business. All right, everybody. That's it for this episode of Dufferin Spotlight on Business, and I hope you enjoyed it. Big thanks to Graham and Laura for helping make this possible, and thanks to you, the audience, for listening. To keep up with everything that's going on with Bryan's Fuel, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, or check out their website, bryansfuel.on.ca. If you would like to learn more about the people and businesses that make Dufferin what it is, make sure to check back every Tuesday for new episodes. The easiest way to stay up to date is to follow us on social media, subscribe to the Dufferin Spotlight YouTube channel, or wherever else you prefer to listen. We're available on pretty much every podcast platform, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. If there is somewhere else where you'd like to listen and we're not on it, please let us know through our website, and we'll do our best to make it happen. If you haven't checked out our last episode, it's with Danielle Jenkins of Domestic Divas Cleaning Co., which offers professional commercial office, window, and residential cleaning services for their clients' properties in Dufferin County and beyond. To achieve success in this ultra-competitive market, businesses must go over and above for their clients, and even that may not be enough to distinguish oneself from the pack. Danielle's ability to perfect processes, such as their Sparkle Clean checklist, and put together a solid team has resulted in Domestic Divas Cleaning Co. establishing itself as an industry leader and expanding to cover a wide service area in a relatively short period of time. Furthermore, they have launched their own line of Domestic Divas Cleaning Co. branded cleaning products that you can purchase for your own use too. To learn more about Domestic Divas Cleaning Co., check out their website, domesticdivas.org, and follow them on social media. If there's a local business you would like to see on Dufferin Spotlight on Business, be sure to reach out and let us know. Also, be sure to check out Dufferin News. Anyways, I'm Josh McEwen. Thank you for listening, and until next time, get to know your community and shop local. Thanks.